Guys, wanted to show you a video about how we at Perfection Correction, how we properly do a maintenance wash on a car. So this is our 2017 GT350R Shelby Mustang, and it has been corrected and coated in 2017, right after it was built in April, and we did the correction and coating and everything on it in May of 2017. So you're about 2.5 years, more or less, since it's been coated, and it's still relatively swirl free. And so we like to keep it that way. And I know the white hides a lot of those imperfections. However, I wanted to show you what we do. So I'm going to do kind of a time lapse to show you, but the products that we use, we buy it in bulk, but this is CarPro Iron X, and it is a brake cleaner. And I'll show you real quick here. Well, if my tripod will cooperate. So the wheels here, I'll show you, extremely dusty, and the Brimbos on this car are very, very dusty. So what we'll do, spray it on. Let it sit there for a little bit, and we'll agitate it with a soft brush. And the brushes that we like to use are called Woolies, and they're not exactly cheap, but they're soft and they're not going to scratch. And so you have two different sizes for getting in there. And so you use the brushes wet. Don't start to agitate it dry, but as you can see there, it's starting to turn red. And I know that these are dark wheels. They're, well, bare carbon fiber. However, as it starts to work, it turns red, and it's dissolving the iron. So if you didn't agitate it, you could just rinse like this. You can see all the brake dust that's coming off of that. So, if you just wanted to do something like that, you didn't have to touch it, just so it looks better, that's great. However, there's still going to be some brake dust on there, so it does need to be agitated. More Iron X. A little of this stuff goes a long way. It's about $100 for 4 liters of it, so it's quite expensive. So, I'll take you off the tripod here. See, they're nice and clean now. No more brake dust until this car moves about 50 feet and then it's covered with dust again. However, I digress. Not the point I'm trying to make. So step one, part one, was doing the wheels. That's in the video you saw right before this. This video is about bug removal and prep for washing. So you see the front end of this, if you look closely here, it's covered in bugs. So I'm going to zoom in closer there. So we have a product that we use by Shine Supply in California It's called Bug Off, and it's diluted 3-to-1. And it's great at dissolving bug guts that have been sitting there for a couple days, something like that. So let me show you what happens here. So we'll let it sit there for a minute or two. And really, you don't even need it to sit on there that long. But if you have really bad bugs, you can see like right there, see how you can start to see the guts just falling down, the colored portions there. So not using any other soap, anything like that, not even touching it. So you can see how easy that comes off. And did it get everything? No. But the purpose of this is you then apply Bug Off again. However, it's going to minimize any further scratches you put into the paint. Fortunately, the front end of this is covered in self-healing paint protection film. So, it's the risk to the paint is minimal. You're trying to not damage the paint protection film, which is not cheap. So after doing Bug Off, what we do is we have a foam cannon with our pressure washer. This one's made by Sud Magic, and you can get it on Amazon, but there's for probably 20-30 bucks. There's plenty of other options out there, but we're going to go ahead and foam it down. Then we're going to rinse it, and all that does is loosen up the dirt and debris and anything else so it doesn't get caught in our microfiber mitt or our Australian sheep's wool mitt. Then we foam it again, then we hand wash. So I'm going to go ahead and finish doing the Bug Off. I'm going to put everything in a kind of a fast forward mode, and you can watch me do this. Okay, so what we're going to do now is foam it one more time. Then we're going to use our Australian sheep's wool wash mitt. And the reason we use Australian sheep's wool instead of a microfiber mitt, I know I said microfiber earlier, the microfiber mitt, they have these little fingers and they can get trapped or pick up dirt in the little cracks right there. And so you risk them holding on to that, and then it's going to just scratch or swirl the rest of your car if there's some dirt on that. And further, that kind of stuff doesn't always come out if you throw them in your wash and let them air dry. Whereas an Australian sheep's wool mitt, the chance of that happening is much, much lower. So that's why we do that. Again, it's minimize the risk and prevent any additional swirls. Sometimes it's impossible to prevent. That's why we correct and coat. If you had the same car, you get it redone every 3 to 5 years or so, something like that. Just if you're staying perfect all the time. So we're going to go back to the fast forward, and you're going to watch me foam it and wash it, and then we'll get to the drying. Okay, so I'm running out of light, so I'm going to go ahead and just start drying, and then I'll tell you about the drying process here in a minute. Got it all cleaned and dried off and ready to go. Wanted to show you what we use here to dry. The only thing with drying I would suggest not using is compressed air. We use, it's called a Metropolitan Vacuums Master Blaster, and this is the Revolution 8 horsepower dryer, and it uses a filter on the back, and it uses the heat from the motor to blow heated filtered air at the car, which is great during the winter time when it's much cooler out. However, that works fantastic. It's the most ideal way to dry your car. And it really just does a great job. If you have a backpack blower, you know, that's an alternative. Some guys like battery powered leaf blowers. The risk you have with that is if you have a lot of dust in the air, it's basically sucking it up and throwing it at your car. So, you know, that's why we don't do that, but you know, it's your car, do what you want. However, that's the process that we go through. So just wanted to share that with you guys, and this is the way to keep it looking fantastic. And so even in different sunlight, that swirl free looks absolutely perfect. So thanks for watching. If you guys want to see more videos like this, let me know. I can teach you guys some things. If you want to learn or have questions, feel free to ask and comment below. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please consider doing so. Talk to you guys later. Thanks.
So I thought I needed. So I thought I needed.
And one more thing. This is a CR spotless. It's called a DIC-20. It's a deionized water machine, I guess. It's not really a machine, but you basically put this end goes into your hose or into your water source. The water passes through here, and there's a resin in there, and it basically filters out the mineral content. So the parts per million, like this one, needs to be replaced. When it gets above 20, it'll start spotting. But basically it brings the water content down to 0 parts per million. And so that means you can essentially, on a clean car, you can let it air dry and it won't spot. However, we still dry it. And we use an electric pressure washer. Just picked this one up from Costco. It's like 30 bucks. The reel, that's modified, that's aftermarket. I use a setup by MTM Hydro. Very high quality stuff. And it's made in Italy, I believe. Yep, made in Italy. And very, very high quality stuff and good hose. And I have a reel that I just attached to the top of it here, so it's a pretty good setup. Haven't had any issues with it. So of course we use a 2-bucket method of washing, and I can explain that in another video if you guys are interested.